welcome back to the Tailosive Tech
Podcast. You can do the intro.
Oh, I can do the intro? Welcome back to the Tailosive Tech
I can
Podcast,
just sit
everybody.
here.
I am official intro man today. This is Nick. Brandy is asleep over there. He's still trying to get his coffee intravenously. And we're all using center stage, except for Randy. So, iPad minis for the win.
Yo, Jimmy Carter's 97 today. How is he still breathing?
I wish him all the best.
Yes, me too.
What? Are we just going to pretend this is normal?
He must live long and prosper.
People live that long, yes, especially if they have money. That helps.
But he's
You get these things called doctors.
He's lived more outside of his presidency. Post-presidency.
Wow. I didn't think about that.
JFK's sad.
This dude lived 3
Moving on.
lives.
Randy's obsessed with old news because he got his iPhones and iPad since the last episode.
We have not talked about this?
And
Ooh.
no, last episode you were waiting all day for your stuff to arrive.
Oh my God. Pause for the cause.
Pause for the cause.
First off, here we go. In frame.
Ooh.
It was in the thumbnail last week, but
It wasn't in the thumbnail.
Oh my God, you're right. Sorry. So, here's the deal. All right, hey, here's the deal. Come on now. Come on,
Randy
man.
bought everything.
Randy bought everything, and
Is he
you
keeping
guys, I really like the Pro Max.
We got him on the Max train.
Yes, yeah, boy.
Wow.
I'm not. Hold on. Now, just to let you guys know what I've been doing. About 3 to 4 days, I've been swapping SIMs. I started with the regular 13 Pro, and I love the color. I love the performance. This is a camera first. That's what these Pro 13s are. They're cameras first. And if you get the Pro Max, it's a battery bank first, then a camera.
Yeah.
Then it has
battery
internet.
tank.
It is. So, I love this, and I actually got another one that is completely unopened because I ordered 2, and if I end up keeping the 13 Pro, then I'm gonna return the one that's been opened. I'll just keep the brand new one. But
So you couldn't cancel the order, so you took delivery of it?
I couldn't reject it, so I couldn't cancel it.
Take the phone.
This phone, the 13 Pro, the Pro phones in general, this year are the best phones, period. And this is the hill I am going to die on. Better than any Android.
I agree with you.
Better than any iPhone. Better than anything that we have ever seen since the start of this whole thing. The 13 Pros are the best smartphone, period. So then I moved to...
You'll have no disagreement from me.
Good. I moved to the Pro Max. And not once did I ever get below a certain percentage.
69%?
Nice.
I'm rocking the SIM in this one up until end of today, and then from Sunday until midweek when it's time to return phones, I will be using the Mini. I hold the Mini, and every time it's a return to form. The Mini, I'm like, I love it. I love the color. I love the size. I love how light it is.
The color's good.
The color's amazing, and the cameras, like
Right.
you said, Drew said, he goes, if there was a 13 Mini Pro, you would get that, and this is a 13 Mini Pro for the camera, minus telephoto,
Got
macro.
the cinematic.
It has the cinematic, and I've been posting, uploading, and testing cinematic a lot just to see what we can do with it. And oh my God, guys, the 13s, the cameras.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations.
No, director. The 12 Pro Max or 13 Pro Max is probably the best. This is the best of the best of the best. And all I can say right now, and we'll talk next week when I'm no longer reviewing and what did I keep. So this is the suspense, but I absolutely get it. I get why you guys love it. I get why people want this. And if I was to keep this, there's no way in heck would I be keeping the iPad mini.
Ooh,
There we go.
No.
We answered the question from last week, which we didn't answer. You were like, hold that thought. Don't answer right away. And we never answered it. This is that answer.
Yeah.
Randy is convinced the iPad mini and 13 Pro Max cannot coexist. And I think I agree, especially after using both for quite a bit.
I have been using the iPhone 13 Pro Max and the iPad mini exclusively for the past few days. I did not bring a MacBook Pro on. I took a 2-day trip up back home to go to a graduation, and then I'm going back to Starbase in a few hours. But I specifically only took the iPad mini and the 13 Pro Max with me. I brought MagSafe Duo and one USB-C to USB-C charger. I really wish the MagSafe Duo had USB-C. That would be nice.
Me too.
But it was very nice, very minimal. Probably the lightest technology that I've carried in a while. And obviously I brought my camera gear and stuff too, so maybe it wasn't. But I didn't bring a laptop. And I found tons of uses for the iPad mini that I would have used my MacBook for. I would have used a bigger iPad for, but the mini was just fine. Such as...
So here's my question. What does the iPad do that the iPhone doesn't?
Apple Pencil. Is one of the things. On the airplane, I was doodling, Randy working on the cube, getting that ready to show the world one of these years. And so
Don't you give me hope.
Rebellions are built.
I thought it was
on
in the
hope.
Transformers films.
Maybe it is. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, I was just loving the fact that I had this iPad mini, and out of Starbase, you have to take the world's smallest little airplanes, like ER-145s. Obviously, Cessnas are way smaller, but at least commercial jets, ER-145 is about as small as you get on a regional jet. And so I was in one of the rows where it was just one seat in a row. It was like a 1-2 configuration. And so I was just all by myself. I'm already a big guy, right? And less big now, but big height. And so I always feel like I'm just wearing those airplanes. I feel like I don't get in the airplane. I just put the airplane on because it's just so tight. And on those airplanes, I was always trying to use my big 12-inch iPad Pro to draw. That's one of my favorite things to do when I'm flying. Just, doodle, kind of mindless activity is fun. But the iPad mini was the perfect size for that. And I was like, as I was sitting there, I was using the iPad mini, the Apple Pencil, and I was like, I have so much space. I love this.
Because you kind of ended the last episode saying you weren't sure about the pencil on the mini.
Yeah. I wasn't sure about the pencil on the mini. That is how I left it. But that was first reactions. I've gotten used to it. It is a little cumbersome as a lefty who has to use the Apple Pencil a little bit differently than all your right-hand privileged people, but all that right privilege of yours. You guys don't even know how good it is. But we're using the Apple Pencil as a microphone at the moment, so that's how we're doing this today.
So it's the doodling, and is that it?
Yes, it's the doodling, and then also because I was working before I went to the airport, I didn't bring my laptop to Starbase like I normally do to upload stuff. I just did it all on the iPad using files and drag and drop. And Google Drive, getting everything, going the right direction. I was able to edit
with the SD card adapter?
SD card adapter with USB-C onto the iPad, and then I edit the clips a little, just trim out the start and stop, so it's a little bit smaller files, but you can edit it right in the Files app. You don't have to take it into Final Cut or anything. It's super nice. And it's all just on this little itsy-bitsy 8.2-inch iPad, and it's like my favorite form factor.
Can we all agree?
I love the iPad
because we got the same color. Can we agree this is the best color?
No, actually, I wish that
you guys are terrible.
We can't agree with Randy on colors today.
I did this. Yeah. I did this on the EV podcast. Can we agree green's the best interior? And they're like, no.
For you, it was.
Randy, anytime you ask, can we all agree? Stop.
Can we all agree it's weird that Jimmy Carter is 97?
No, it's not weird. He went around the sun.
When you're 97, Randy, when you're 97, I'm going to be making the same jokes about you.
97?
You're going to live to be 97, Randy.
Oh my
Just because
God.
of this.
And I'm gonna bring this up.
Hate alone is what's going to keep me alive. Fueled by hate.
I'm going to put an event in my iOS calendar, which I know I'll still be using, for when do you turn 97? Like next year or?
2087 would be Randy's 87th birthday. 2087.
Wow, are you an accountant?
Yes, I was. Now I'm a photographer.
Okay. It lets you scroll this far.
It lets you scroll
2087.
Well, as he's putting that in, I can say that if I was to keep the iPad mini, I can't stay with the base storage because it's too... I've already filled up more than... I think I'm less than 20 gigs left, and that's just pulling down the apps that I'm using from the 2018 iPad Pro. I do love this thing a lot. But so here's the thing. I immediately notice... I do notice ProMotion. I just realized that I don't care. I do, but I don't care. Drew made at least two videos that was done in cinematic mode on Talos of Tech, and I knew he did it immediately, and I was like, I wonder if he's gonna bring this up. Call to home. That's a callback. He brought it up. But until the very end, I was like, oh my God, he did that in 30, not in 60. And that's when I realized right then and there, ladies and gentlemen, smoother motion, I am completely indifferent about because it just, I noticed it. Because immediately when you did a video that was done on your actual camera, the Blackmagic, I was like, oh, there's that smooth. Oh, that's right. He didn't use smooth. I don't care about smoother motion. So... that 60 frames I'm indifferent about, and 120 hertz I'm indifferent about. That
reminds me, I don't care.
Yeah, because I was appreciating how clean the video was shot on you, Drew. Like, I liked how you made that work, and I was like, that looks really nice. Oh, that's right, it's not 60 frames. All right, whatever. And in that moment, it was watching your second video that you did with the iPhone. In that moment, I was like, I should probably keep the iPad mini because I thought my deal breaker was going to be the refresh rate. But in that moment, I was like, no, that is not a deal breaker. I can always tell the difference. I just don't care. And if we do spec for spec...
It's an interesting spectrum we have.
It is.
Nick doesn't notice or care. Randy
I watched
notices
a 1 hertz
but doesn't
video
care.
The other day. Actually, I literally did, and it wasn't too bad. I mean, I did notice the 1 hertz, but it wasn't terrible.
That's called a slideshow.
That's called a slideshow.
With the old slides.
With the spectrum is Nick doesn't notice or care, Randy notices but doesn't care, and I notice and care. So that's
what I care about
is doesn't notice and care.
I when I edited one of the videos on iPad mini,
people on YouTube,
what are we talking about?
Nick is saying, who doesn't notice refresh rate but does care about there being high refresh rate? And I was saying, Android people that comment on YouTube that can't see the difference but look at the tech specs and say,
Samsung's had this for 3 years already. Come on now, God. If I get one more, Android's already had that. I'm happy for you. Why are you going out of your way to talk to me? I ain't talking to you. Why are you talking to me? I don't care.
I especially get mad at that comment when every Android phone I've reviewed that's had that feature, I've brought it up and specifically said I'm jealous and I want that on my iPhone. And they're like, you guys are acting like
Drew is a blind sheep.
That one also makes me laugh. It's
I got the reference to when you brought that up. I got the reference of the blind sheep. I was like, yeah, these fools, you people. Pick and choose. You guys pick and choose when Drew is being blindfully loyal instead of holding like you said. It's easy for Drew's just a blind sheep instead of actually going back and pulling out the videos that Drew had said that I want this, and he wanted it so bad he literally said I will not upgrade from the 12 mini until I get ProMotion. Verbatim, he said that if he is one thing that you could,
because there was nothing wrong with the 12 mini.
That was the hill he was dying on, and some of you people were, oh, you blind sheep, and that he was not going to upgrade. The fact that it just came the next year was
standards.
Yeah.
So you enjoyed editing on the iPad Mini, but it wasn't Mac replacement material.
I realized if I'm returning this, two things. The first one is that I do like having a keyboard, and I just that the swipe gestures isn't enough. 2, it's not financially feasible to just kind of do it just because you kind of want it. Like, I have to sell this for that to happen, but then I have to sell this, the iPad Pro. I'm talking about the iPad Pro and the keyboard. And honestly, like, if we're being honest, there's nothing wrong still with the 2018 iPad Pro, and that's 3 years old, and that's saying a lot. But
it's true.
There's nothing wrong with it. I don't need this. I just really, really want this. Whereas this becomes more viable. However, and Drew, I'll let you go more into it because this is more your realm. Even the Mini can do it now, but this iPad can't. ProRes, that's a different story now. And this thing, this cheap plastic or aluminum thing can handle ProRes. So it's an A15 limitation, not a hardware or anything but the chip. And that's where it's like, oh, this thing's starting to show its age now. And someone like you, Drew, would probably need to upgrade. At least you couldn't even get the mini LED variant. You would need to get something that's at least A15 for you to do ProRes on the iPad.
The M1 should be able to do that, though.
The A12X can do it too.
It can.
Yeah, I edited a whole tech video that was shot on the Blackmagic on my 2018 Pro, and it did great.
Good.
Just with LumaFusion, no keyboard or mouse, just with swiping and tapping, and I was able to put the whole thing together, and it went fine. I'm still extremely impressed with LumaFusion. I've even been toying around with editing on the 13 with LumaFusion because the display is so large. So I've been like, hey, if the iPad can do it, why can't the iPhone? But yeah, the A12X chip is still pretty dang fast. It was able to export a 4K 60 video. It wasn't terribly long. I think it was 5 or 6 minutes, but it took it like 13 minutes to export the whole thing with like 150 bit rate. It was like it was ultra settings. I did not turn it down for the sake of the iPad. I turned all the settings all the way up and re-exported it, and I posted that video about iPad OS just got like one of my favorite features.
Yeah.
And all the comments were like, are you going to do it? Well, Connor specifically was like, are you going to do a video edited off your iPad? And I was like, finish the video. And then by the end, it was like, and this whole video was actually edited on LumaFusion. And it's like, yeah, you can't really tell the difference. It looks just like it was edited on Final Cut. But
did you notice the time difference?
Time in editing?
In editing time, yeah. Because I know you're really fast with Final Cut.
Yes, I do notice that the keyboard and mouse moving time head is faster than a fixed time head where you scroll the timeline back and forth. Even though I got the muscle memory of LumaFusion down pretty well. I've edited 3 videos in the past week or past couple weeks just on LumaFusion, and I know I can do everything I need pretty much on LumaFusion. It just takes a bit longer. I would say actually, the time-consuming part of shooting on cinematic mode is getting it off the freaking phone. It's the process of importing it through a wire strips it of its cinematic quality. Like, I tried to import it through a wire, and it showed up in Final Cut, and it was just a normal 1080 at 30 iPhone video. There was no blur.
What? If you airdrop, because the only way you can preserve the cinematic mode is through iCloud. Bless you.
Or AirDrop will preserve
No, AirDrop, for me, AirDrop no longer gave me, it didn't save my settings for cinematic mode. I did.
Weird.
I filmed.
Is it blurry at all?
It is blurry, but I can't adjust the blur. So if I'm like front facing, what up, guys?
Well, it converts it.
It
converts it from a HEVC to a .mov. So basically, when you airdrop it to a Mac, it re-exports the entire video. That's why it takes so long.
Wow. That even happened for I tried it on the iPad when I was moving something from my phone to iPad Mini. Bless you, rude.
Wow.
All right,
I'm allergic to something in here now.
What happened was the Bokeh was an aperture of like 2.0, and I dialed it down to closer to like 7, and it looks good on the phone. And it was taking too long because it was in queue waiting to upload in iCloud. So I decided just to airdrop it to iPad. When I opened up the iPad, it didn't say cinematic mode. It just was video, and it went back to the 2.0 fixed one, and I couldn't control that. The only way I was able to control it was through iCloud after it uploaded. What's up, Nick? Nick?
I'm guessing he lost his AirPods
the show going, my
connection.
goodness.
What happened? What happened?
AirPods.
Oh.
Should we keep going?
Yes,
or
please keep
do you
going.
want to pause?
I don't want to make a
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, then I'll finish
right.
up my thought while you do that. So in my experience, iCloud was the only way I was able to preserve all that data and do what I got to do, not AirDrop. AirDrop.
Okay,
just
but once it gets to the Mac, you can't change those settings because Mac OS doesn't have.
I haven't tried that at all.
I don't believe it's there. I asked people about it on Twitter because I was like, what is the deal with every time I want to move a cinematic mode video off the iPhone, it has to go through this long preparing stage.
Yeah.
And then if I do it on the Mac, it has to convert the video and then it starts sharing. Whereas on the iPad, it just does preparing, but there's no converting. So I was like, maybe if I edit this on the iPad, I can save more time because it doesn't have to go through that whole conversion phase, but it still had to do the preparing thing. So there's basically all of this data that they have to translate whenever you take it off the phone, which is why I was actually experimenting with editing off the phone, because that, like, a 13-minute video took, I would say, easily somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes just to get off the phone.
Yeah, I had the same experience.
Quite a big delay considering it's 1080 at 30.
You know
the file
what fixed
size
that,
is not
Drew?
that big.
USB-C.
Yeah, but even with USB-C, the Mac would have stripped it of its
maybe it's a Monterey
settings.
thing that needs to be, like, updated and has that for
I think I heard that.
Yeah.
Someone was telling
Dude,
me Monterey fixes that.
You were spot on though about the whole editing LumaFusion off of iPhone 13 Pro Max because the screen real estate is so big.
Yeah.
I did 2 TikTok style versions all done on this, and
okay.
it was. I've been editing more on. So here's the thing about the Pro Max. If I keep it, like, it makes a lot of the other devices obsolete. iPad, both Pro and Mini, because I feel like I can get so much more done on the Pro Max, and because of LumaFusion and that power that's kind of going in there, and you got the screen real estate. So I get it.
And I really want to compliment you, Randy, on the videos you've been putting out recently with the cinematic mode, just showing all that off. It's kind of cool.
I think it's.
boundaries.
I don't think it's a gimmicky feature. I'll push back on some YouTubers saying like, well, it doesn't give you the manual control or it doesn't give you an actual camera view, because I think that's not the point. I feel like it's going for exactly what it is. It's going for a more cinematic look that you're not supposed to get caught up on the resolution and the frame rate and the focal length and the depth. It's like it's basically portrait mode video. I mean, that's a great description of it, because portrait mode wasn't trying to perfectly emulate and give you all of the exact same controls of a DSLR camera.
Right.
It's meant to be like, how good of an image, how cinematic, or how high quality of an image can you get off of the camera in your pocket? And I think cinematic mode does the best that's available with, like, the tracking autofocus when you get close and back up, and because it's an artificial blur, you have the advantage of being able to change it after the fact. So it's because all that data is baked in there.
Yeah.
Which I think is perfect for content creators. Like, there were some people, I can't remember who, but there were some people saying like, well, YouTubers aren't going to use this because it doesn't have the same control, and average consumers aren't going to use this. And I was like, no, I don't think all YouTubers have to be, red digital masterminds and buying super advanced cameras. It's like they need something that they can shoot with quick, and they need something that's portable when they take with them. And there's a lot of the vlogging style, I'm just going to film with my phone, and making that look as cinematic as possible. It's all in the word cinematic. It's not about like what's the focal length, what's the frame rate, what's the resolution. It's just you pulled that right off your phone's camera and it looks pretty dang good. Like I've been getting lots of positive. I was very pleasantly surprised with the feedback I got when I posted the cinematic mode tech videos, because there were a shocking number of people saying I couldn't tell until you brought it up. Yeah. Some people saying I could tell, but I still think it looks good. And none of the comments were really negative. Everyone was just like,
obviously
that's
you
impressive.
missed my comments, Drew.
What did you say?
No, I didn't say
Did you
anything.
comment?
I didn't comment.
Oh, okay.
But
Then,
in
yeah,
my
I
mind,
missed
I
that.
commented. In my mind, I was telepathically commenting to you, Drew.
I missed your mind comments.
I noticed, but I enjoyed it. And I mostly noticed, the first thing that tipped me off that it was an iPhone video was the dumb HDR thing. Because I've dealt with that HDR thing so many times where like it boosts the wrong colors and your actual skin tones get lost. And I was like,
that's something I don't like about it.
As soon as I clicked on the video and started playing, I'm like, oh, Drew's using an iPhone. Like this is iPhone HDR. Like 4 frames into it, I was like, iPhone.
Yeah.
And then I was
experimenting with it a lot before I found the lighting I was comfortable with. It was still noticeable. Like I know Nick could tell, I could definitely tell that it brings out too much of the background and it darkens my face too much. It was worse than that beforehand. If I left my lights and the camera where it was for my Blackmagic, my face was like super duper darkened and the background was super bright, and I was like, I want to turn off this Dolby Vision crap.
Yeah.
This is annoying.
Thank you.
I hate that the camera's like it's constantly dimming the UI, everything except the video. Whenever I open a cinematic video, it's like, okay, all the other brightness has to go way down. That way the cinematic video can go way up with the brightness. And I was like, stop trying to be such a show off with your Dolby Vision crap. It's not helping. If anything, it makes it worse. It's worse. Like I gotta balance his face.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, I have to blow out the background. And I was like, just let my face be well lit in the background. So that might be something they could
Drew,
fix with software.
How do you go in on Final Cut then with something that has HDR on it and edit? Do you put that HDR tool filter, or do you go into the actual color correct and drop the aperture?
Neither. When you airdrop it to the Mac, it turns it into a .mov and it loses all its dynamic range.
Really?
So that's the flat image. The video you saw in my videos that were off the iPhone, that's what it looks like post export.
Goodness.
But I don't want. I'm kind of okay with that because I don't want all that dynamic range stuff.
How did you do it on the iPad then when you exported it from Luma?
I don't know what it did. I think it just,
because you have an option for the wide color gamut, or you have the standard, and when you make it standard, it won't do that whole blow up in your face thing.
It didn't give me an option. I just airdropped it to the iPad and then imported it into Luma, and it gave that flat, like it picks like the best ideal scenario.
So it's the airdrop for Mac that's doing it for you. Then so you exported Luma with the HDR all intact. You just export the photos, boom, and that was that. But
and I didn't notice a difference. I don't think it matters if you're airdropping to a device that's non-HDR because the iPad is still Liquid Retina. So like it'll neutralize it. If you try to play a Dolby Vision video on a non-HDR display, it'll just go for this neutral in the ground dynamic range. But I'm fine with that because to me, Dolby Vision just means the phone messing around with brightness settings nonstop. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, look at me, I'm so bright.
I took a still image from Luma because of me doing the portrait video yesterday, and this is what the image blows up to be because it's taking a still image with the HDR. I have to lower the brightness. This is standard what it looked like if I didn't do anything with it, completely blown up. So this is the thumbnail.
It looks terrible on non-HDR displays. I believe Final Cut can display it normally.
But
if
this
you're
is an
HDR,
HDR, and
HDR
it still
monitor.
did it. So it didn't know how to process that information. So it just blew it all up.
It's awaiting for further instruction, basically. It's like, tell me what to do color-wise, because I don't know what to do.
This is terrible, and I wish we could just have a settings in camera to turn it off and be,
I know.
happy go merry. because that's my biggest complaint with any of the. I get what Apple's doing, but much like raw photos or ProRes, let it be a feature or a switch. Let me choose.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it.
There's been too many situations where it's not helping at all.
It's one more step in the workflow. It's like, and now I have to do this. Oh, and I have to do that. It's bottlenecking the production line here.
You might like absolute silence or lo-fi beats. Maybe you stand, sit, or relocate every hour. You might want fresh coffee always within reach, or a game nearby for those quick breaks. Whatever your work style, you deserve a setup that inspires. And Best Buy tech experts can help you online, in-store, or at home so you can find what's right for you. Work for you space achieved. Details at bestbuy.com.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? They may drop little hints like,
beautiful day out. Even more beautiful since we saved by bundling our home and car insurance with Geico.
or
Yard work is hard. Much harder than bundling with Geico, which was easy.
it may be even subtler, like,
Speaking of burgers, we bundled our home and car insurance with Geico and saved a bunch of money.
bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Before you ride, make sure your mirrors are clean and adjusted properly. And if you're going on a group ride, make sure the lead biker knows where they're going.
Ed, quick question. Where are you taking us?
Oh, I have no idea. What, am I the leader? Because I was following that dude with the red helmet. Where is he?
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
Introducing Peacock, the new free streaming service from NBC Universal. It's hit movies, current shows, live sports, trending bits, and timeless hits. And that's why you can't not watch. Peacock. Watch for free, upgrade for more. Stream now at peacocktv.com. Law & Order SVU streaming now.
Get running this fall at Dunkin' with $2 medium iced coffees from 2 to 6 p.m. Try any of Dunkin's delicious iced coffee, like their signature original blend. Or treat yourself to mocha, caramel, or the fall favorite, pumpkin. Always freshly brewed, made just the way you like it. Make time for happy hour and enjoy a $2 medium iced coffee from 2 to 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
Support for this episode has been provided by George Washington's Mount Vernon. Offering 160 wide-open, wanderable acres, Mount Vernon invites you to connect with over 200 years of history. Far more than a mansion, the first president's estate is home to 4 picturesque gardens and shaded woodland trails, even a cruise of the Potomac River. Visit mountvernon.org to learn more. To save 20% on tickets, use promo code OPEN.
Okay, we're at home with Jen, who is taking out the trash.
That's right. And goodness, look at that designer sweater and jeans combo.
Oh, she is nailing that cozy casual look.
Oh, she's opening the can, and the trash is in.
She is working that driveway.
Well, with Marshall's amazing prices on designer fall fashion, no one can blame her for feeling this fabulous.
Whoa! Oh, just look at that lipstick.
Better get to Marshall's.
Oh, I'm leaving right now. Fabulous brands.
Feel good prices at Marshall's.
Get running this fall at Dunkin' with $2 medium iced coffees from 2 to 6 p.m. Try any of Dunkin's delicious iced coffee, like their signature original blend. Or treat yourself to mocha, caramel, or the fall favorite, pumpkin. Always freshly brewed, made just the way you like it. Make time for happy hour and enjoy a $2 medium iced coffee from 2 to 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
Welcome. We're here with Jess, who is enjoying a cozy night in.
That's right, and she's lighting up. Is that candle?
Triple wick pumpkin spiced? Yes.
Oh, she is setting the harvest mood.
Is that a tasteful autumnal wreath?
Someone's been to Marshall's again.
Well, with quality home decor at great prices, what's stopping her? Oh, and a cozy blanket to top it all off.
That is so fall. Better get to Marshall's.
Fabulous brands.
Feel good prices at Marshall's.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? They may drop little hints like,
Beautiful day out. Even more beautiful since we saved by bundling our home and car insurance with Geico.
or
Yard work is hard. Much harder than bundling with Geico, which was easy.
or it may be even subtler, like,
Speaking of burgers, we bundled our home and car insurance with Geico and saved a bunch of money.
bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Before you ride, make sure your mirrors are clean and adjusted properly. And if you're going on a group ride, make sure the lead biker knows where they're going.
Ed, quick question. Where are you taking us?
Oh, I have no idea. Well, am I the leader? Because I was following that dude with the red helmet. Where is he?
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
With more time at home, your culinary skills have improved, but don't stop there. The selection and expertise at Best Buy can help you get the latest tech to take your skills to the next level. Cooking chops unlocked. Details at bestbuy.com.
Get running this fall at Dunkin' with $2 medium iced coffees from 2 to 6 p.m. Try any of Dunkin's delicious iced coffee, like their signature original blend. Or treat yourself to mocha, caramel, or the fall favorite, pumpkin. Always freshly brewed, made just the way you like it. Make time for happy hour and enjoy a $2 medium iced coffee from 2 to 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
What you doing?
Trying on glasses with Zenny's 3D virtual try-on.
Wait, are those the actual prices? I say get all of them.
Seriously, why not, right?
Oh, now I want new glasses.
Zenny.com. Quality prescription glasses starting at $6.95.
And I don't notice it much, to be honest. Even HDR content on YouTube or that kind of thing, like, I don't find it very immersive or good looking. It's always, if someone did an HDR video, they have to disclose it in the title.
Yeah.
They have to say that it was HDR, and then they have to intentionally, like, I'm going to sit in this dark area of the kitchen and have the ocean in the background in order to demonstrate. It's like, if I'm just a guy in my corner talking, I don't need this kind of dynamic. It's
That's
useless.
fair for you
it's
to
just
say,
a bunch of
but
it's just a bunch of pointless data. I'm not going to frame my camera so that I can show off the nits of your phone and drain your battery faster and make the file sizes larger. Like, it's just a waste.
I get what you're saying, Drew, and that is fair for you in the corner of your little cubby there, like a little man dweller in his cave. Don't need that. I
think standard dynamic range is underrated. I've seen lots of great videos and great vlogs. All of Nick's content on NSF, that's not HDR, and it looks wonderful.
It is.
You get some amazing
and
shots.
It's accidentally in HDR.
So
then you can tell.
I will disagree, though, that I do notice it without having to be told. But it is because it's being... I notice it when it's being used right, and all it is just balancing the what's visible and what's not, so the darks and the lights and all that stuff. Like, in that point, I was like, oh, this is bright. But I only notice it because the rest of the UI on iOS dims. I'm like, oh, I wonder what's about to happen. You know, but
I wonder if you could tell the difference between the UI just randomly changing nits whenever you play content versus actual HDR.
I would say yes, because when Nick and I saw the HDR, XDR, whatever, the Mac display thing at the Apple Store, that whole thing was shot in the HDR, and it was noticeable. And maybe because we know it's supposed to be, and you can make the case placebo, but I do notice I notice the clarity in the colors. Like, they're vibrant, bright colors that don't lose any of its information. But the thing is, who cares? It's not. It's like you said, Nick does great things on standard, and I don't care about it. It's cool, but it's promotion for me. I don't care.
So I have a big problem with HDR, and I have since it first came out, the 11 Pro, 12 Pro.
I think it was the 12.
It was 12.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to deal with any regular usage. If you're going to use your iPhone, as all the Apple ads think that everyone does, to make like cinematic movies, then yes, it's probably nice to have HDR. But it's just so much to deal with. Like, when I'm taking a quick video, perfect example, I was taking a video of on one of the flights that I had yesterday. The steward had dry ice that he had like wafting off of the little cart. I wasn't in some fancy class. I was just in coach, and like it was weird. And so I took a video of it.
Sure.
And I was trying to send it to a friend, but the thing was 4K 60 HDR because I didn't mess with the settings. And I'm like sitting there waiting for this 30-second video to send. I'm just like, this camera's almost too good, you know? Like there needs to be some kind of distinguishing between like, I'm just going to quickly pull out my phone and take a really quick video and send it to someone. Same with an iMessage. You know, if you hit the camera button and take a quick video, it's still taking a 4K at 60 video at Dolby Vision HDR, and it's like, I don't want that. Like, I get it if I'm. It's nice when I'm gonna like take a nice video and I'm like, ooh, you know, 4K. And I know you can change the default setting to 1080p. I've thought about doing that, but there are the edge cases where I'm like quickly whipping out my phone to catch, you know, a booster or whatever, and it's like, you know, it's nice that it's in 4K at 60. But for like the little easy to, like, there needs to just be an easy button, like maybe 2 buttons on the home screen or the lock screen, one for like the idiot one and one for the cinematic one. You know, like some things I don't want in this kind of fidelity, and it's just hard to deal with. Like when you try to upload something to Twitter in HDR, it has to process for longer because it needs to convert it out of HDR into the normal
Which is
stuff.
totally pointless.
And then it just
because Twitter compresses the crap out of everything,
right?
Yeah, I learned my lesson. I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah, that's terrible. Speaking of Twitter things, though, Randy, I must say I'm a huge fan of your recent tweets of your jeans.
Everybody, tell me why those are like.
There's some good fitting jeans.
The retweets and the comments on the retweets that somebody quote. I'm like, I don't know if people are talking about the camera anymore, or are they just talking about my jeans? So, at that point, I don't know, but hey, I'm doing a show. Stop it! I'm doing a show.
His dog's digging in the carpet again.
And I'm using a new mic, so it's 100% going to get picked up because I'm using the different mic. So stop it! You're being rude. What was I talking? Jeans. Yeah, jeans. Twitter tweet. Why is that the most popular thing I've done in recent times? The jeans.
Because it's the macro mode, and
because macro.
What do y'all think about macro mode?
I love it.
I love it.
You love it. I hate it.
It's wonderful. You hate it?
Hate it.
Don't use it then.
I can't.
You can't not use it?
I was trying to take a picture out of a window of my car, and the LiDAR sensor or something was thinking I was trying to focus on the window, and so it was switched me to macro mode, and I'm like,
there's an update that's coming. There's an update that's coming for that.
I don't want to look at the window. Stop forcing me into macro.
No, that doesn't fix it, Drew.
What the heck? No, it stays in the stupid macro. And I'm like, and then yesterday I was on the airplane trying to take a picture of the pretty city and the stars that I was seeing. I set it all up, night mode. I was like all set up. And I look at it and it's blurry. And I'm like tapping on the thingy. And then I'm like, it's blurry. And I'm looking and I'm like, oh, there's the scratches on the airplane window. I bet you this is in macro mode. And so I spent like 2 minutes trying to figure out how to get the dang thing out of macro mode, but there wasn't enough light for it to realize I wasn't trying to focus on the dang scratches on the window. I was trying to focus on the pretty sky outside, and
I've never had that problem.
I legitimately hate it. They need to fix that yesterday. That they should not have shipped it like this. It is frustrating.
Wouldn't necessarily say it's macro mode's fault, because
the way it's implemented.
iPhones did that beforehand.
No, but it's never been this extreme.
They did that pre-macro mode.
It's never been this extreme. Yeah, it might have.
Sounds like Jellygate.
Oh my God.
The center stage pans with Nick.
Yeah.
As he walks off. It's like it's never been this extreme. I mean, the window focusing thing. I recall my wife having that problem like 10 times on her iPhone SE.
Yeah, but you could always get your phone close enough to the window where it wouldn't do that. Like, at some point, you could get your phone close enough to the window where it'd be like, oh, I can't focus at the window. Let's see what else there is. And it will
just roll the window down.
Oh, yeah, on my in the airplane at 30,000 feet, I'll just crank the window down. Yeah, that's how that works.
You're like, macro mode. Sorry, everyone. It is a twist rolling window. Yeah, that's
rapid decompression, oxygen mask drop.
I've never had that issue, and I've had so much fun with actual macro mode that I'm a big fan.
I haven't. I don't know what people are so excited about.
I've taken eye shots. I got these
I've seen
pictures of little knickknacks.
I have taken very gross photos of my arm, and you could see the hair follicle underneath the skin, and I'm like, whoa. And
I love taking shots of my watch.
I'm going to tell you guys an honest, we're friends here, and it's only us three talking, right? No one else is going to
no one can hear.
Right, do you need macro mode, Randy?
I'm
to see... Is that how the dating world's going to be working?
All right, touche. That's good. No one has that on their bingo card. Nick making it inappropriate. Oh, that's good. Oh, that made me tear. Oh,
took this macro waffle shot.
Waffle shot.
Whoa.
I
was amazing.
I cleaned out the pores on my nose. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah. Hey, we're having this conversation, and I had like this big old crater of a hole where there once was like.
That's a nostril.
No, not that. No, that's the abyss. And
I'm getting a close up on Drew's molars. Oh, you're looking good there. Good job brushing, man. That's some.
I've gone to the dentist like 2 times in the last week, so I'm curious how stuff is looking.
So I punched in.
Whoa, I can see his work.
Is this your way of saying you want me to continue the story because it's gross?
Well, go ahead. I'm just playing around with it as you speak.
Okay. So I punch in, and I take a photo of my nose that has this hole where there was this buildup of what was becoming a blackhead. And when I zoom in even more, because it'll render for a second, like it has to process it and clean it up. Yeah. And then I close in, and then I hold it to go into live photo mode, and I noticed like what is fuzz to normal sight of the hair, I can see nose hair, and I go, whoa! I immediately grab the tweezers and and start trying to get. I take another photo, and I tell you, first of all, it looks like a crater, like an asteroid just struck my nose, and where it was once skin is now just open pore.
Meteorite.
And then I look at the meteor itself, the blackhead, and I take a photo of it. I'm being honest with you.
Do not send that picture to me.
This is disgusting.
No, I'm not gonna show you.
Good.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna show you. We're gonna keep it.
Send it to me.
No,
all right, I'll send it to you.
To Drew.
I take a photo of it, and Drew, I'm gonna send you all of them because
I love gross stuff like that.
So does my wife, and you
guys should watch this TV show called Dr. Pimple Popper. I hate that lady.
That's my wife. That's one of my wife's favorite shows. So
okay.
Maybe we
can't be friends
anymore. My dentist has a tool that takes pictures of my teeth, and I asked him if he could bring up the pictures again so I could take pictures of them. So now I have all these dentistry pictures of like super close-up shots of my cavities.
Drew, in like 3 years, they'll just be sticking iPhones in your mouth using the macro mode. They'll be like,
that's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe we should just buy 13. They're probably the same price.
Probably.
It's loading. It's sending right now, Drew. I see it loading. So
I can't wait.
When I tell you that this rock, take a look. I just sent
9 images.
I couldn't.
Whoa, that's disgusting. I love it. I can see the grooves of Randy's finger.
Yeah.
It looks like a vinyl.
Yeah. Right? Yes. That's what I was saying.
Macro mode's so cool.
So now you have his
never
fingerprint,
been able
Drew.
to see.
We can now get into his iPad Mini.
It looks like a gold nugget that you can sell for like 50 cents or something, but in actuality, it's like the size of a little bit bigger than a cinnamon powder or something like that, Like it's so I love macro mode, but it's so gross because it's made me so insecure about my body, especially when I macro mode,
Beautiful. It's way better on iOS 15 where I can swipe. Oh, I won't show them.
Yeah, please
swipe through them.
I know.
In a catalog.
Yeah.
I want this show to be monetized. I'm not going to show.
You're just like my wife. She goes, show me. I want to see. Show me. And I'm like, ew. She goes, no. It's
interesting.
Yeah. It's
I have some pics I can send you.
Send them. I want to see because I'm so curious now.
Okay. Anyway,
this is what happens.
Disgusting note.
Yeah, this is what happens when we get macro mode. We get curious about like my fingerprint looks like a vinyl. Nick, I understand.
You guys remind me a bunch of freshmen who just got handed calipers and told that you could measure things. And
yet you're the youngest here.
Yes, I am the youngest. You two are the most immature.
You'll get to our immaturity eventually.
You will.
One day.
Nick, there's an update.
Are you the only one keeping the mini?
3, 4, 5, 6, me? iPad mini or iPhone mini?
iPad mini. I know you're not getting a mini.
Of course.
Is it your new iPhone? Did you get cellular?
It's not my new iPhone yet. I haven't turned on the cellular yet because it's going to be like another $60 a month with AT&T because they're dumb.
Return it and save some money.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of honestly returning it and getting 256, but
and swap it out.
I don't know. I haven't seen any other colors, so I need to do that.
Do you want a space gray instead?
I don't mind the Starlight. It's fine.
Okay.
But if there's a cooler color out there, I'd get it. I really miss the old-fashioned original iPad mini since we're going full retro on the iPad mini. What was the slate gray, slate blue?
Yeah. Oh, I love that color.
It was like a dark blue. It was so pretty. I really miss that color. No, I don't want to debrand, so please don't waste your time commenting. Do not want to stick a plastic sticker on my iPad. Yeah, so I don't know. The iPad mini, though, is definitely my favorite form factor. It hasn't yet replaced my phone, and I don't think it ever will, just because it is still an iPad. Like, it does iPad-y things. It does slide over. It does. The keyboard comes up as an iPad by default, and I can barely do my full screen typing, but it's enough.
I can't do that.
I will give you this. Having this function of just typing with your thumbs is pretty dope.
Mm-hmm. It's really pretty dope.
In both orientations.
Mm-hmm. Both orientations, I can type with my thumb.
Yep.
It feels like a different variant of like holding a Nintendo Switch, which I'm used to doing with the. I'm gonna start playing Knights of the Old Republic on it because I got the app and I know I can use the gestures and stuff. Everything about this form is amazing. Even if it was ProMotion OLED, that's not the deciding factor for me, unfortunately. So
the deal breaker for you is the keyboard.
That and the fact that if I end up keeping the 12 Pro Max, there's too many overlaps that's happening there. 13, sorry.
Okay.
Why do I keep saying 12?
Yeah, I've done it a lot too, actually. It's probably because they look very similar.
Yeah, probably.
It feels like the phone I unboxed with you
Apple's
like a year ago.
What do you mean they're different? They're
I will say
different.
that there's enough of an upgrade in the battery and the camera performance that it shouldn't be an S. I don't see it being an S. They're done with the S post Roman numeral stuff.
I think so too. Yeah.
They're done. After 10R and they're like, what the heck does that even mean? They're like, nothing. Then after that they were like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. Hey Nick.
10S was the last S phone.
Yeah. Nick, I want you to know about your because I feel bad and I don't know if you know this. In a very soon update on iOS, they're gonna give you the option to turn off that macro setting.
Oh, thank you.
It's coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about switching
it.
to a 12 mini because, like, this was terrible. The macro was a terrible experience.
Do you want product red?
No. I want silver.
Is macro on the regulars? I forget.
I don't think so. Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It's like for a few days there, it's like maybe I just need to get a regular one. This is annoying. 2X, 3X though is nice. 3X is very nice. I will say.
How crazy? Oh, go ahead. No, yeah, go ahead.
3X is good.
3X is like, I don't know how I lived without it. I'm so thankful to have it back. I don't know how I survived, Randy. Like, whatever you were trying to sell me there, I was deep down in some weird cult with the ultra-wide thing. The 3X telephoto is so nice. I can punch in all the way and still have a full res image. It's like, and it's 3X now.
I'm still drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm totally off the telephoto trend now. Like, I've had it, and I've tried it, and I've taken pictures with it, and I was like, it's not that,
I could do without
that
you.
useful. I could do without telephoto. I honestly would have still bought this phone if they were like, we decided no telephoto.
You don't need
because ultra-wide's more fun.
And I would have been like, okay.
Google.
How crazy is it, guys, if I ended up keeping a Mini and a Pro. Is that weird?
I think
it
you'll
needs to be a
regret
Pro Max if you want to keep 2 phones.
Right. I agree. But you think I'll regret it, Drew? Why would I regret it?
I think that you would pick one and never use the other.
Yeah.
And I don't think there would be very many times where you pick up the other. You would just default to one, and the other would just sit around doing nothing for like months.
But the Mini just feels so right.
So keep it.
But
it's not so
battery.
Right. Dude, the battery.
Did
I get to tell you guys about my battery test on the show? I think I did the test like the day after we recorded. I need to pull up the actual numbers here, but I did a test where I put my SIM and the 13 Pro Max, whatever one that is.
Everyone keeps forgetting what it's called.
I know, it's terrible.
This is the greatest thing ever. It's the
thing.
I don't have the name on the back.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
What is this? Come on, man.
Okay, so
look at the thing.
13 Pro Max, I charged it up when I got up at 6:07 a.m. on a Saturday when I went to Starbase. And I also charged up my iPhone 12 mini at 6:07 a.m. And so they're both charged up to 100%, and then I took them off. I left the 12 mini in low power mode the entire time, and I put it in my pocket. And it sat in my pocket all day until I used it for hotspot for maybe 30 minutes with the iPad mini. So I did use it for a second, but I did use a hotspot for 30 minutes, and it was bad. But yeah, so the iPhone 12, 13 Pro Max, I'm going to get this name one of these days, only used 86% of its battery over the course of the day. So I dropped to 14% at the end of the day, is when I called it at the end of the day. Did not charge a single little bit, and I was quite happy with that because the iPhone 12 mini, doing literally nothing all day, literally nothing, except for the 30 minutes of hotspot, used 151% of a battery. Yes, I did have to charge it up at just before 6 o'clock. I had to charge it up to 50% to get me through the day. And
despite not turning it on or
it was
doing
on
anything
and
with
in my pocket, but it wasn't doing any. The screen on time was 44 minutes.
44 minutes of screen on time, and it was 150% battery.
51% battery. And so
oh my god,
it's terrible. But I got 4.5 hours of screen on time on the Pro Max throughout that day, so that was perfectly acceptable. And
I'm surprised you used that much of the 13.
It's really the radios is what I'm discovering down there. I mean, the cell service is just so bad down there that the radios have to go bonkers to get anything.
I went 2 days without charging, and there have been several days where, you know, one night I just didn't feel like reaching over to put it on MagSafe Duo, and I was like, it's at 65%. Why do I need to charge? So I just left it on the floor.
Yeah.
And the next day I picked it up, and it was at like 59%. So it used it all day that day, and I think I wrapped up still with 10% left. So it probably could have stretched into a third. And that was with pretty decent usage. I think that was the day I filmed the cinematic mode video, and I shot stuff with it. I was taking pictures. I watched a crap ton of YouTube on it. It was not like a mild use day for me anyway. Like mild use for Nick is like crazy amount of power. Mild use for me is like watching YouTube and taking a few videos and banking or email and all the basics. But it has an insanely good battery. It's like, I don't know what's better for the battery health at this point. Is it to charge it every single night, even if I'm finishing the day at 65, 70%? That happened one of the days, actually. I was like going to bed, and I was like, what's the percentage? 72. It's like, wow, full day. Is it better for me to top it off every night, or for me to wait until it dips below 30% and then charge it?
So officially they say don't worry about it. That's the Apple's system is
on the record. Batteries are perfect.
No, on the record, Apple is doing its thing in the background to prevent it from degrading regardless. Not to worry about it.
Yeah,
unofficially, between 40 and 80 is you keep it off, and once you start to dip below 40, that's when you have the best chance of preserving health up until 80 or 90 or something. But I've noticed, not with this one, because like you, 2 days, and I was doing it on the mini or the regular. No, it had to be the mini because it didn't learn my habit yet. So the 12 mini, it would say like I'm just gonna hold it at 80 until the last hour before you wake up.
Yeah,
and then
it'll eventually do that.
So in that sense, that's why like it doesn't matter if you plug it in, because I think once it learns your routine, it's gonna cap it at 80 until it's time to right before you wake up. So in that sense, that's where the Apple's like, don't worry about it because it's gonna cap it. But when to start juicing it, I would say if you're thinking 30%, that's a good number, because 30% on the 13 Pro Max is going to give you another day anyway. So
almost a full day, yeah.
That's crazy to think about. My goodness, I can't fathom that. Here,
I'm curious if Nick is the type of person who cares about the fast charging. Did you hear about the 13 Pro Max fast charging?
I hadn't heard about it, but I do care about fast charging. What's the news?
So the news is, I think it's just because the battery is physically larger on the 13 Pro Max than any other iPhone, but it supports 27-watt fast charging, and nothing else does. The 13 Pro doesn't. None of the 12s do. I could be wrong, but didn't the iPhone 8 or something have super fast?
iPhone 8 Plus had like 30-something watt. It was like, I remember there were articles like between the 10, the 8 Plus, and the 8. There was like a really fast charging one.
There was some fast charging that they took away because they figured no one was using it. But basically, yeah, if you have a 30-watt brick,
I might
you
have
can
to get a 30-watt
fast charge.
brick because...
You don't have one?
No. Do I? Oh, actually, I do with the MacBook Pro. The M1 MacBook Pro, is that 30 or 45 watt?
Yes.
I can't remember.
I thought it was 60.
No, the big ones are 60.
I'll double check.
I don't know. Anyway,
I thought the big one was 96.
The M1 I think comes with either 30 or 45. But anyway, I do have a bigger one. I actually... There are some times.
Is that like, to me it's useless.
Not very frequent.
I don't find fast charging
it's not,
helpful.
Yeah, it's not very frequent, but there are some heavier days where I'll hit 3 o'clock and be dead, and need to juice it up real quick. Typically, what I have done is I have my huge 100, bigger than 100 watt hour battery pack that I couldn't take on the airplane with me in my pocket, and I'll just plug it in. You were right. What was it? 60 watt on the M1 MacBook
61.
Pro? Okay, 61 on the M1 MacBook Pro. So that's what I have. Anyway.
That could probably do it.
Yeah, could probably do it. There are a few times where it's like I need to juice this up fast, and I think that's good to know that I can, top it up quickly. Now, I don't think I do that regularly because I do charge at night as well, but the once or twice a week that's useful. That'll be good to know that I can pop that into the MacBook Pro charger and expect it to juice up quicker. Well, some of the thing though is the heat down there. The heat will probably slow that charging rate a little bit too. So
that's true.
We'll see.
For my lifestyle, the 12 mini battery was fine.
Yeah.
Because I live in a world where I have pretty universal access to chargers if I need to. So it's like, gets me through my average day, no problem. My 12 mini was not dying on me regularly. Only time it was dying on me was when I'd be taking a long trip and I'd be using maps a lot. Or I would be out of the house on a big hike and taking lots of videos and pictures. That's when it would start to die, and I'd have to plan for it. But it was manageable. It was like, okay, as long as there's a charger in the car or I have a battery bank of some kind, then it's fine. And I think people make it out to be a bigger issue. Depends on your lifestyle, I guess. If you work out in a field somewhere away from a charger, it's a bigger problem. But for me, at least, I was like, I don't care. I like the form factor. The Mini's good. Now I have... best battery life of all time ever in a phone, in an iPhone, maybe in a phone. I don't know, but
no, there's some obscure
because
Android
I'm getting
phone.
all of these great battery results with 120 hertz and no low power mode. Did not turn that on ever. I've never turned that on this phone because it switches it to 60 hertz, and I hate that. So if I turned on low power mode, I bet the battery life would be something insane. But I'm very grateful about that because it means even if this thing degrades its battery health, not if, when it degrades its health, it's a matter of time, and it gets down to 90%, 80%, I'm guessing even if battery health was at 70%, this would still probably be better than the 12 mini battery for me. So long term, this is going to hold up very, very well, I think.
I agree.
Battery-wise.
Good thing you're planning on keeping this long term.
Nope. Nope.
Yup.
So overall, kind of going full circle here, what are we keeping?
Okay.
The Max, for sure.
Max for Drew, for sure. Mini for you, Drew. Are you keeping the Mini? Max iPad Mini.
For me, the deal breaker is 60 hertz.
That's not a deal breaker.
I don't care about the keyboard.
You've gone your whole life
for me.
without it.
I said for me.
Stop it.
That's my opinion. I actually, ignoring 60 hertz, I have put away my iPad Pro to fully immerse myself in the Mini because I wanted to get used to it. I wanted to only use this whenever I need it. So all my video thumbnails, this right now, the reason I'm not holding it up for the camera is because I'm talking to you guys on it. Everything I've needed an iPad for, I go to the Mini. And as much as I appreciate the size, and I think it's adorable, and I love that it can fit in your pocket, and I'm glad they gave it all of the iPad Air features. It doesn't, this sounds obvious, but it doesn't show as much content simultaneously because the screen is smaller. So I appreciate it, but it's kind of the AirTag thing. I love the AirTag. I recommended the AirTag to people, and I thought Apple did a great job with it. It was pretty much perfect Apple product
that was
launch.
A thing.
Yeah. And I was like, this is great.
Year.
I love the AirTag. I don't need one though.
Yeah.
And I feel similarly with the iPad Mini is I would recommend I did. My fourth grade teacher was asking me the other day. He was like, which iPad should I get? And I told him the differences between the budget one, and I really don't care for the non-laminated display. I don't like the Lightning, and I don't like the home button. And the iPad Mini just feels so much more fresh and modern, and I think it's a great price, $499, and the performance is killer, and I think it's easily going to get 7 to 8 years of software support. Mm-hmm. So if you can be comfortable with that screen size, and Jellygate is
dumb,
not a thing. It's a bunch of people on the internet figuring out how displays work and getting upset when they find out that this is how screens work, but they think because they noticed it on the iPad, that means it's a new thing. It's wonderful, but it doesn't fit into my workflow, and I suffer the same issue Randy does, that there's just so little wrong with the 2018 iPad Pro. It's just too good, and it's still holding on its own. The fact that it just got an update that lets it support ProRes, and I could throw in high bitrate ProRes video onto my iPad, edit a whole video off of it, and it still exported pretty quick. It still holds up, that A12X chip, which I feel like is rarely utilized to its full potential. And the batteries on it is great. And of course, you guys know I'm a sucker for that buttery smooth Face ID. And of course, the iPad Mini.
That was it.
iPad Mini doesn't have Face ID, which I do kind of get frustrated by, especially because we do a lot of logging into banking apps and password, the iCloud keychain, and I have to rest my finger. I've actually had the Touch ID misread several times.
Really?
It's
been a while.
It's pretty good for the most part.
Me too.
But Face ID, at least in my fail to success ratio, is far higher. Like Face ID in the iPad works.
The problem with Face ID is I'm just
especially
too far away. That's it.
Yeah, especially for my lifestyle, where essentially I spend a lot of time at a desk with a big screen. And my iPad is typically running Discord and Twitter and email, and we often watch content in bed or on the go, and my wife wants, a big screen for us to watch content on when we're trying to be, when we don't feel like watching on the big screen TV. We want to relax more. So can you guys say something really quick?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Hello.
Had to make sure which one was dead. Okay. It's like one of them was off, and I was like, which one? But the problem is for my workflow at my desk, it's like computer operating and then iPad off to the side. And the Mini is just showing less stuff and it's more crammed versus my 12.9 inch, which can show me a lot more. And of course, I love the buttery smooth Face ID. USB. It's not the keyboard thing. Like, I've actually gotten really used to using an iPad without a keyboard. Like, it's not a deal breaker for me. But the A12X chip is not slow. 3 years later, it's still pretty dang insanely fast for being able to edit that 4K at 60. Yeah, the big graphics boost. So I love the iPad Mini, but I desperately was trying to find a use case for it, and I couldn't. I couldn't find a purpose in my workflow where I was like, oh, I could use the iPad Mini for this.
Drew, I think that means your workflow is flawed and you need to rethink your workflow so that you can fit the iPad Mini into it.
Truth is, I am rethinking my workflow quite a bit, but the iPad Mini is not
the part he's rethinking.
It, unfortunately.
Yeah. Rethink
it's
harder,
not the
Drew.
part I'm rethinking.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for MacBook Pros now, but iPad Mini doesn't really go hand in hand with that as much, so it would definitely been an easier decision to keep if it had 120 hertz. I'll say that. But when you use 120 hertz all day on the 13, and then every time you pick up your iPad, you're like...
So if it had 120 hertz, you would keep it? For real? Honest?
It would be a bigger toss-up. I wouldn't say confirmed 100%.
But Face ID
I would have
and
a harder
more
time.
content and all that. I mean, that doesn't just get under the rug now that it has 120 hertz.
No, yeah, it would still be a tough call. It would still be like the iPad Pro pretty good too, and being able to view more content. So it's not solely 120 hertz, but people were bringing this up. I went from small phone, big iPad, with the phone being 60 and the iPad being 120, to now giant phone with 120, little iPad with 60. And I think the other thing that's not helping is before my 2018 iPad Pro, I had a 10.5-inch 2017 iPad Pro. Also with 120 hertz. So I've had ProMotion on my iPad for like over 4 years now.
Wow.
To the point that anytime I use an iPad that doesn't have it, like even when I use briefly I'll pick up my wife's old iPad, that still has 120 hertz. So I've just gotten that refresh rate so accustomed to that form factor and that OS that anytime now I pick up an iPad that's not 120, I notice it much more obviously than old iPhone, because I was used to iPhones being 60 hertz for a long time. But now I do want an ecosystem of ProMotion, so I'm kind of looking forward to 120 hertz on phone, iPad, hopefully external monitor as well. So that was the most extended, annoying way of me saying no, I don't plan on keeping it.
Thank you for finally letting us know. Randy, what are you keeping?
Man, all right. So
not keeping the Series 6 either.
Really? What was that about?
No, it's a Series 3. Wait, what?
What's that about?
You're using...
Look familiar?
You're using... I know that watch.
You know this watch.
What happened there?
I sold it. It's sold.
Ooh. Because you want the Series 7.
Is this in preparation for 7? Okay.
I wanted to get the 6 sold before the resale values dropped more when the 7 was available. Right now the 7 isn't, so I could sell the Series 6 and say this is the latest Apple Watch, technically.
Yeah.
And I had a certain price in mind, and I found a buyer who was willing to pay more than my minimum.
Wow.
So I was like, if I can sell it for more than this, I'll get the 7.
Maybe a Series 4 Apple Watch? If this buyer needs a Series 4 Apple Watch, just have them let me know.
I have no way, no. I think the message chat was closed, so I have no way to reach out to him.
Okay.
But yeah, he was a nice guy, very friendly, and so now I'm getting the 7 officially,
Nice.
for sure.
Welcome,
Randy. What are you getting?
My one thing I just want to say about the iPad Mini is what my use case with the iPad has been and will continue to be for the foreseeable future is it is an extension of Mac. And I don't mean Sidecar, though I've been using Sidecar now. I do mean in the sense that I use it to read chat and things that are kind of more passive. So one thing I tried doing on this, and I struggle, is being able to like see it from far distances because you guys are pretty far, right? So
I did my center stage stream and I had that problem.
Yeah,
the screen is so small I can't see anything.
Size doesn't matter, guys.
I love the color, I love the weight, I love the size, the footprint, I love the screen resolution, I love the aspect ratio, everything about this I love. I just cannot justify spending that money for it. That's the bottom line of it. So because of that, I am for sure going to return this. If I do get some point in the next 6 months, if I do at some point need to get a new iPad, I will not be getting the 64 gig regardless. So this one is going to be returned.
Okay.
With the iPhone, I don't know because I'm trying to decide what is the iPhone for me right now. If I stick with the Pro Max, it's a battery bank and a camera first. You know, like it is a camera, and in that sense, then it's the smallest camera I've ever had. That just happens to have internet and apps, but it's a camera first. So I don't know. I like having the option of having telephoto just for the sake of having more lenses because I'm seeing it as a camera first, but I'm not using it. I don't care like that. I do care about the battery, and I like the color. I like the Sierra blue because there's a tint of purple in here. So periwinkle, I think it's what's called. People are saying that. My wife has called it that. I like this color a lot. It's very premium. So I was right on the color. I'm right on the size, but I don't know. I don't know what size. I have to answer the question in the next couple of days. Is the battery that much more important between the Pro and the Pro Max to justify sticking with the bigger footprint? Because at least it charges in my car, the Pro Max. So in the sense of using it in my life.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, I tried it. It works. So everything about it is good. Doesn't matter because like you, Drew, I have access to wireless chargers and charging everywhere. So it doesn't really hurt me. And I don't think I'm going to be holding on to it for more than a year. So I don't think I need to future-proof it like that. So I need to answer that question. What is it to me first? And that will probably decide the battery. Or not the battery, but the size, the footprint. So it's going to be between the 13 Pro and the 13 Pro Max. I just have a special place for the 13 Mini, especially the product red. It's my favorite looking one, but...
They fixed it.
But I'm really trying to get my wife to upgrade and like, please take this one, just so I can.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Nope, she's a green 12 mini. She goes, green's my favorite color. You can't get me to leave. I'm like, yes, ma'am. So.
Fair enough.
Very fair.
All right, makes sense. Well, hopefully we have some Apple event news to talk about next week. We'll see, or talking about how long I'm going to own this. We can save that for another time. But thank you all for watching, and we hope you have an excellent rest of your week. Take care, all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Jimmy Carter's 97. My God.
Whether it's absolute silence or lo-fi beats, you have a work style all your own. And Best Buy tech experts can help you get the right tech for you. Available online, in-store, or in your home. Work for you space achieved. Details at bestbuy.com.
Get running this fall at Dunkin' with $2 medium iced coffees from 2 to 6 p.m. Try any of Dunkin's delicious iced coffee, like their signature original blend. Or treat yourself to mocha, caramel, or the fall favorite, pumpkin. Always freshly brewed, made just the way you like it. Make time for happy hour and enjoy a $2 medium iced coffee from 2 to 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.